Hi everybody, thanks for watching. So today I am showing you how to make these hummus wraps with teriyaki tofu. So I started out with one of these Nasoya super firm tofu blocks, and I just went ahead and chopped those up into little pieces. You can make them as big or as small as you'd like. I like to go a little bit thinner. It just gets a little bit crispier that way. So they're not quite as mushy, and it bakes a little bit faster too because we're going to be baking these. If you can't find one of these blocks of the super firm tofu, you can use other firm or extra firm tofus. I just like this one because the water is already pressed out of it, so I don't have to worry about that or anything. But if you're using one of the other ones, then you just want to make sure that the water is all pressed out of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and make our teriyaki kind of sauce. So I'm just starting with a little bit of sesame oil. So I only use maybe half a teaspoon of sesame oil. You don't need much of it. It goes a long way. And then I did probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. And then I did about a teaspoon each of both onion powder and garlic powder. You can do a little more, a little less of each of these. It just, depends on your preference, how much you like of each of those. And then give it a quick stir just to get everything all combined. And then just for a little touch of sweetness, I added just a little bit of maple syrup. I think I did maybe about a half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon. Not much. I don't want this to be like a sweet tofu, just something to add just the slightest hint of sweetness. And then I went ahead and just added all of the tofu into a nice big bowl, just something big enough to hold it all and, give you a little extra room. And then I tried to evenly distribute all of the sauce over the tofu and then just very gently gave it a little bit of a stir. Some of the tofu was starting to break apart a little bit, but you just want to get everything nice and coated, nice and evenly, and let the tofu absorb some of that liquid. And then go ahead and place it on a baking tray. You can use parchment paper, or I used a silicone baking sheet. And once you have them all spread out on your baking tray, we're just going to go ahead and bake that at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how, meaty or chewy or crispy you want your tofu to be. And I just, spread out the remaining sauce on the rest of the tofu pieces before I baked them. So this is fresh out of the oven. They're nice and crispy. I think I ended up going about 25 minutes just to get them a little bit crispier. So now we can go ahead and start assembling our wrap. So I just used a spinach wrap. That's what I had on hand. And I just went ahead and globbed on the hummus onto this. Nice big glob. I think I used red pepper hummus. Get a nice big tub of it. And just go ahead and glob that right onto your wrap. And then from there, I went ahead and added some black beans. It just, it makes it nice and hearty and filling and adds some extra protein. And then some diced broccoli, little black broccoli florets. I really just did whatever random veggies that I had on hand. So at the time, I also had some red cabbage that needed used up. So I broke off a few pieces of that and put that in there. And then I went ahead and added on a few pieces of tofu. I used 4 pieces, but I honestly could have used a few more. I think I ended up grabbing a couple more pieces and eating them on the side. And then I just went ahead and put a handful of spring mix on here. And here is my very, very poor, very not good attempt at rolling this. These spinach wraps tear so easily. They're not the greatest. I don't love them, but it's what I had. So went ahead and just wrapped this up as best as I could. And it kind of fell apart as soon as I moved it, but give it a little cut so you can see the inside of it, how it ends up looking. But it turned out pretty tasty. I think this is my new favorite way of making tofu. So let me know in the comments down below if you plan on attempting this or if there's other ways that you like to enjoy tofu. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.